Good morning, everyone in India. And thank you for joining us today on AlmaConnect's fourth session. Today, it's all about alumni. It's about the pursuit of happiness, something which all of us have been in the process of, and some of them have actually crossed their first barriers and reached their first milestone. And there's no better example for this than our seniors who have been in the same path that we are in right now, sometimes even in a more difficult and challenging positions than we are in right now, and sometimes a little easier one. So let us go through alumni's life and how they have tackled their paths. So today we have a huge panel consisting of people from across the globe. So we'll try to cover about their life and about how they have tackled in different scenarios. So starting with our very first speaker, we have Sriharika. To say a few words about Sriharika, she is actually a 2019 pass out, so the first batch from our institute from civil engineering. And then
Yay.
later she went on to work at a company called Sits Farm for 3 years, and then continued on to pursue her masters at University of North Carolina, Charlotte. So I'll be leaving this session on to Sriharika to carry on forward. Sriharika, the question is very simple. What was your journey till the point that you have reached right now? What were the challenges that you faced along the way? And what motivated you to keep up ahead, keeping upstream and even in the lowest points of life?
Thank you, Ritik, for giving such good introduction about me, probably that I did not hear. So, with me, if I have to tell, honestly, if someone would have told me that I would pursue career in operations, definitely I would never have thought about it even. To give me a background, I was a student from civil engineering uh, from 2015 to 19. I was one of these students from civil engineering, and my plans were we were from the first batch of NIT, so we had limited exposure, and to the exposure that we had from our professors and all, I've decided on going for masters then in Canada. So that is the reason why for most of the placements also I was not attending. And by then I was training and placement coordinator for 2 years, uh, doing the training and placement thing for all of it. So I have been working with training and extracurricular activities are always there in my course from first 4 years, and then I thought of going for masters after my bachelor's. So I was in preparation for that. That is when once Dr. Karthikeya has sat with me as my mentor to understand what is my situation and what would I do with my future. And then he has asked, then he told me one lesson wherein don't miss any opportunities in your life that you get, be it small or big, but still have an opportunity. So after that, though I was from civil engineering, the last training and placement for that year was from Sitswam. That is where is there some disturbance from my side? No? Okay. So Sitswam was the last company for that year, 2015 to 19. And I've attended it telling, okay, let's take this opportunity as such to see and understand how it will go. And I got through the placement, I got through it was a long process, very long process then, but still I got through it. And then I was like, I just had it as a backup then. So I was like, I'll think about it. I'm still not sure. I'll still go for masters is what my concern was. Later I was again after few months of thinking if I have to go for my masters or should I do work. And I felt by then I missed all the deadlines that I had to apply. So the option was for me to get into this job only. So uh, af- after that, I joined Fitzfam in 2019 in June, and then before that also my parents were intimidating again. For them it was intimidating because Fitzfam was just a startup then. It was not any established company, and the team for Fitzfam was just 30 members. So I still remember my dad asking me, "Why don't you just go for masters? Why do you have to take this decision again?" I was like, "Okay, let's see. Let us see with what flow comes and goes." So I joined SITSFAM, and SITSFAM was very challenging for me. To my background, being a civil engineering student and being in the field of operations, I was given the role of management trainee where I had to deal with finance, which was never my job or never my subject. Or I did not know ABCs of finance when I initially joined. And then later, I figured out everything as the course passed by. And then I was into finance, I was into operations, I was into inventory over 3 years. And then COVID happened. And then everything was coming into, falling into place where I understand what is my job. Every day there was a new challenge because it was a startup. Probably I would not have got so much exposure after if I have not joined SITSFAM because it is a startup, and startup every day is a challenge. Every day is a challenge for your business, and every day you get a new challenge. You don't know what you have the morning that you wake up. So it was there. There were no proper work timings. It was not a 9 to 5 job. I remember days where I started working at 3 till 12 in the night, and then things went on after that. And after that, I really enjoyed my job. Every challenge that I see, every decision that I make gets an impact to the business. I was given the freedom of taking decisions, and then afterwards, I was promoted as assistant operations manager for Hyderabad. And mostly what I liked with Such Farm was it was giving me freedom to do my things in my own way at my own pace. And then I could see the impact of my decisions over the business, be it loss or a profit. It was my own responsibility. And after I was into recruitment back after that started recruiting. I knew every aspect of what goes into a business and what runs as a successful business. And though I miss the civil engineering part of my life, which I was very interested in, continuing it. I thought I'll continue it after a 6 months break or so, but still that never happened till date. I was into operations and I liked operations. And I found, okay, this is my interest. This is where my interest is going. I'm really enjoying this. So that is where, and then after 3 years or so, when I knew I did my job better in Sitsfarm, I thought I'll go back to academics and get excellence in supply chain operations. And here I'm at UNC Charlotte from a year figuring that out with supply chain and then dealing with things as and how when they came. Yeah.
Thank you, Sriharika, for sharing us your journey. So there's generally one question which arises a lot. That is when you're trying to talk about management or towards that sector. Many people still have a question whether core branches would be able to accomplish it. So what is your take on that?
Core, any person who is having that knowledge of engineering, wherein you go through so many subjects and so you deal with so many subjects, you're already managing your subjects well. So that aspect inherently lies it. I do not deal with anything that I studied for 4 years, but I apply management as such is where you manage things wherein you find out solutions, you figure out what is happening according to your this thing. What are your challenges? How can they be overcome? What is your this bottlenecks? And then how can you do that? So it does not really depend on subject or core branches. It really depends on what is your mentality then, and how are you tackling it, and how best can you come up with a solution, and that
Uh,
anyone can do who's at the level of engineering. So yeah,
I think managing academics gives us the superpower of managing a company as well.
sure, yeah, I agree with it.
So on that note, just one follow-up question: What is the time that you felt to be the most challenging in terms of your journey, especially when you're in college? What was one point of time that you felt to be really challenging, which you wish you had dealt in a different way?
Final year probably was my challenging year where I felt probably I needed some guidance or exposure or some support because we did not have seniors, as probably Swetha and Vagdevi can also relate to it. We did not have any seniors as such. So everything that we had was our professors. And I was fortunate enough that my professors were supportive enough. I could go any day to any professor and ask, I am in this situation, could you please help? And I don't think everyone had that support. But having said that, truly, it is mentors that you get in your life shape your the life well. Kartikeya sir and Rajeshwari sir and Pratyusha ma'am, if I have to name few, they really made a change, got a change in my life. Had it not been them then I would not have been at this place today. That is truly what I feel. And such professors in your academic life are important. I would emphasize on maintaining a proper relationship with your faculty to understand how you go and even if you're in a wrong path, right? They'll correct you. They might not guide you through that procedure, but they can always put you into that place wherein you can understand of what is happening to you. And
Thank you,
here at
Sriharika.
UNC Charlotte as well, I have professors who have been challenging. So it is always in academics, if I have to tell how much our friends are important, it is also important to find a proper mentor to you to get into a good path. Yeah.
True. I think it's a 50-50 split between the contributions of friendships
Yeah.
and purpose. Thank you, Sriharika, for sharing your experience. And for those who don't know, Sriharika actually is in Charlotte, who is where time currently is apparent around 1 o'clock, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah.
approaching 1 in the night, and still managed to join us today. So a huge round of applause for her to spend her time with us, even when it's so late for her, and then sharing her experience with us. Thank you, Sriharika.
Thank you,
So.
Ritvik. My
With
pleasure.
that, we'll be proceeding forward to another of our alumni, who's again one of our inaugural batch starters. That is Swetha. Hi, Swetha.
Hi, Ritvik.
So
And
Swetha is a triple E 2019 pass out who actually proceeded forward to work at Deloitte, and then later started her masters in computer science at University of North Texas, and is currently working at Skillo in US itself, if as far as I know. So Sweta, again, the same question that that is universal across today. What was your journey like? What challenges did you face? And just the overall journey of yours.
yeah, hi, first of all, it is so long that I have seen Harika and Vagdevi here. And I, for starters, like you said, I am from Tripoli. From Tripoli, 2015 to 2019. Like Harika complained, we don't have seniors. Yeah, that's actually a little difficult part of BTech. Because if there is a senior, it things would have been different, I would say. uh, it was a little struggle phase, but yeah, we tried to pass through it, and our professors were our seniors, kind of seniors. And in my BTech, couple of professors really helped us, like Vishnu sir, Ahmed sir, Kartikeya sir, and all these are like our like lamps seriously for us because we don't know where to go. I know like things are a little different for computer science students because they have to do this lead code and all. They at least have something outside, but in for especially for the core branches, it is little difficult to find guidance. And the only thing, like everyone who has like who goes into core, even I was what is it, brainwashed to go to some government companies. Which is actually a difficult thing that we have to take out of my brain because even I was brainwashed to go into some government company write some. I mean, you know the exams. So yeah, I tried, and I don't know if I can say this, but I was working in Deloitte and writing those exams, which are two extremely different two parts. I was in like one time two boards, which are of completely different ways. And I don't know if anyone is like my I mean, I don't know if someone is like me. I was happy to choose Deloitte. I mean, I sat for placements, and I'm happy that I got into Deloitte. But part of me always, always the Triply thing always dragged me, because I was so passionate about Triply that by the time. And I think we hardly got like two companies, I believe, for like from core branch, and outside there is no scope for us at that time. Things are really different now. I am so happy about that. And because of my financial constraints, I have to work at Deloitte, and I tried to parallelly, like I said, parallel boards. I tried to do that, but things didn't work out. And then I think I did that for like 1 year or something. And then I should say Deloitte actually, you know I don't say I'm a zero coder. I would say like 10% or 20%. I know something about coding with my first year and second year experience with the D. I think we have the data structure subject, and starting some programming subject. So lucky that I got them, and because of that, I was able to at least understand what is what. And you know how these service companies work. They'll take people, train, and then put them into projects. And I'm so happy that I got into, like, this is actually a luck to get into development side in a service based companies, and I'm lucky enough to get into cloud. And I'm so happy that seriously, my team, where I went to, are like, they literally looked me like a child and literally taught me everything about how a company will be, how to program. Literally, I have zero industrial experience, and I seriously thank them. Like literally today also, I feel like, okay, oh, that team, I miss them. Something like, I always feel that, because they're my first team I work with, and I always miss them. And I'm still in touch with them. Like whenever I have some doubts, I keep bugging them some or the other day. And they actually taught me, and I worked with them for like 2 to 2.5 years. And in service based companies, like one project is done, then you'll be put into some other project with some other client. So when I went to the other client, I was like overstretching myself. I don't complain it, because overstretching, I like to do it, because I was learning from people who has like 15 to 20 years of experience. I tried to overstretch myself, and I absolutely loved it. I don't want to come, I know some people will complain about it, because they feel like, okay, I'm working from morning 11 to night. So they feel little complaining about it, but I absolutely loved it. Um, when I was working with them, and they actually asked me, why don't you come do masters here, so that you can, I was actually a middleware developer. I don't know how to call that, probably an application developer or something. But they are actually the people who cultivated the interest of doing masters into me. And they are like, yeah, come, you can actually try, you can go to development, actual development work. And they asked me if like, they kind of put seeds in me every now and then. Whenever I go to a senior engineer, he's like, okay, why don't you come to masters here? Like, I was like, yeah, okay. And then yeah, of course, I am from it. Of course, learning something from basics is really important, like other alumni already said. Learning basics is really important, and I felt the need when they told me, they used to catch things very fast than me. And I understood the difference of how a person who knows the subject, and who don't know the subject, how they tackle. That's actually a keen difference I observed. And then uh, I started applying, like, because Because of my electrical background, and I don't have much CG, I guess. I don't know. And I was like, I just made the decision and gave my exams. And because of my scores, I've got selected into only I think three or four with computer science in masters. Because if I would have gone to a different stream, I would have got good admins, but I did not get much admits into computer science. I did get to IT, but I chose computer science over it. And then, yeah, masters here. And in masters, yeah, and I think I worked as a graduate student assistant for a year or something. Lucky that I got some scholarship. And then now at Skillo. For Skillo, I'm working. My client is, it's also a service-based company, and my client is Comcast. And I don't know if you know, but CNBC, everyone knows it. CNBC. It is. So yeah, it's one of the biggest telecommunication industry here. I work for Skillo, and but my client is Comcast, and there I work as an application developer right now. And parallelly, I'm trying for SD roles and improve my coding. Now also, I'm still learning. And best part of if you would ask me, did you miss Triply? I would say yes. Yeah, and I'm glad that I came to masters because. Without like I said before also, without basics, without the knowledge when you code, and with the knowledge when you code, there is a lot of difference, and you will only understand when you learn it. And uh, do you want to ask any questions? I think I'm saying a lot.
No, 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 no. This is exactly what we actually or what we want here because you had a long stretch of experience because from 2019 till now it's 4 years, and
Yeah,
there are a lot of incidents that would have happened in 4 years, and we want to know everything. So if you have
yeah.
anything else, please continue.
And here, yeah, applying jobs because I'm so happy that I got to learn things at Deloitte. Not everyone will get this chance, and I am so happy that I got it. And I was there into safe hands. That's actually the best part. My manager, he literally used to give me tasks, and I would say the best part is I was forceful. Actually, Deloitte is a hybrid work culture company. Like, you don't have to go to office every day, actually. But still, my manager used to ask me to come to office every day. I used to stay in some PG beside it. Then I was like, oh, okay, why not? Because of my internet, poor internet and all, I used to go. But then after lockdown came out, I really miss office. I really missed office, seriously, because that office, how you go, and it's like going to school morning 9, coming back. That you will miss it when you. Lockdown actually made me miss my office, and I loved it, and these simple things when you uh, because actually when you go to office, your concentration will be completely in office. It won't go out. And when you come out, you feel like you have to leave your work completely. That's actually work life balance. Work from home is making things leisure. I understand it is, it makes it will make us do things parallelly, but I liked office. And I'm in remote now. And I'm feeling it more now. I am working, my office is in Philadelphia, but I'm working from Texas. I'm planning to go, but we'll see what happens. I'm planning to go. But again, in BTech, I always used to hear a term, CGPA is not criteria. That's absolutely wrong. CGPA is criteria, because a lot of people will lose their chance to sit in placements because of their CGPA sometimes. Even though you have talent, you still lose it because you don't have CGPA. That's something which everyone has to put in mind. Is what I learned from BTech. And yeah, and it's never too late to start coding. That's so I would say like I don't say about CS because they always have to do it. I would say about non-CS people, uh, because I am from a non-CS background. Uh, like I said, my brain is like washed with government jobs and all. But I came from that to this. So imagine that curve. I don't know what to call it, but you know if someone says that um I want to switch, I want to switch from core to non, I mean core to CS, I would say if you want to give it a shot, if you want to give it a shot, like because you can become an SD at any time, at any time if you have a little experience, because coming to computer science is easier than coming to the core. I mean, if you want to become an assistant electrical engineer or electrical engineer AE somewhere, you cannot go what do you say, you cannot come here and go there. I mean, but you can still give it an attempt, electrical engineer. And if you feel like, okay, I don't want to do it anymore, uh, then you can still switch. I mean, I want to say you can always have two paths. But once you come to CS, and if you want to go back, it takes a lot of time. And by the time, with the time, it will, you will have like you will have to lose a lot of time because of that, because coming to CS, your concepts will go off. And if you want to switch back, you have to start studying again, which is a little difficult. And one more thing is, I want to say is, I first studied, then I worked, then I'm studied recently, and I started to work again. Um, so this up, I mean, uh, if you are doing masters just after BTech is fine. You don't understand the difference between work after masters, sorry, work before masters and work after masters. We guys understand it better because you when you start earning and then you have to go sit study in the college, it's a little difficult, but we try to manage it, and lucky we are. You have to be prepared for that as well if you want to come to masters after little work experience. And also one thing I would say is, having work experience before masters is not a compulsory thing, but it's good to have it. And I think I tried to say all everything I want to say.
Thank you, Shweta. You actually covered, the other two questions which I asked for Sriharika later as well in the single go. So
Okay.
it was actually, it is true. Like, I mean, the kind of experiences that you have, before masters and after masters is something which many people may not experience, but this
Yeah.
is something which will be extremely useful for people who experience it. And yeah, again, work-life balance only comes when you're in office. So that is something which is quite, a revelation like right now when people are getting used to work from home. Just one more thing is that like, currently there is some sort of a recession level which is going on everywhere in India, right? There's lack of placements. Even Infosys recently announced that they won't be hiring from colleges directly. So, given the scenario, what would be your take? Like, imagine that you're in this scenario right now. What would be your take, and what would you do right now? Like, if you're in this situation.
Okay. You said like Wipro is not taking campus students, right? That's what you meant, right? Okay.
Infosys, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want. I just have a question. Like other NITs, do we have uh, interviews for internships into the college? I mean, in the college? No. Okay. Cool. So I would say it's their loss, because if they don't want to take students from college, because outside world is little competitive. uh, but I just wanted to give you things to, I don't say it's tips, but I, like other people might give things better, but I just wanted to say a few things here. um, First thing is that, obviously, prepare. Prepare properly. It's smart way, not the hard way. um, like everyone suggested, I would say go for lead code and go for how I would interviews experiences, especially how others experience, because whatever the role you are looking for has been already interviewed by someone already, so they will already write some blogs in Gigs for Gigs or some other place. Just go there and try to take premiums. They're just hardly some $100 or it's it. I understand being a student, it's little tight for the pocket money, but it's okay to take premiums and take premium and try to solve problems as many as you can, and try to get the understand and solve it rather than just solving it. And also uh, one more thing is make your resume pick. Yeah, that's something when you're applying outside, it's actually a really very important thing, which I personally faced a lot of problem with starting when I used to apply for colleges. I don't know what was the reason, but here the ATS always used to pull me out of the race. So prepare an ATS cheating resume. I would say, I mean, cheat the ATS. I don't, I can't say more than that, but try to cheat it so that your resume will get picked. Okay, then ball is in your court. You can then after that you can work whatever you work on, you'll get it. That's
Thank
the
you,
only thing I
Shweta.
can say. Yeah.
Maybe you can later share on your resume so we can also, and get a template for cheating the ATS. So maybe that can also be done later. Yeah. Meanwhile, I think Sriharika has something to say. Yes.
Yeah, so
Okay.
in my perspective, I understand recession is testing everyone's patience, even it is testing my patience as well. But still, I would say have a patience and prepare yourself. It is competitive everywhere and everything. It might get stressful at times and make you anxious as well. But take your time, prepare yourself, try upskilling yourself, which I am doing currently. In the US, you have the opportunity of deciding your graduation, unlike India. So you can I postponed my graduation from December to May next year, and meantime I'm taking. And as Shweta said, programming is important in these days. It is becoming in the world of AI and machine learning and everything, programming is being important. I am a person who tried running away from programming back then in 2015, and then I was running from programming again, getting scared of programming while I was doing the masters. But again, I take this time. I am taking this time to learn programming, understand it, and then figure out. Like I always mention, you need to have mentors. One professor of mine here is pushing me to learn programming, and I do not have any other option other than that. So take time in upskilling yourself, have that patience, try try rigorously. If not, if you're having a tough time, it's okay to wait because market is not good and everywhere. It's okay to wait. It's okay to take a break or take some space for you. Don't stress yourself. If you stress yourself more, you'll again get anxious, and that will again have an impact on your mental health, which you might not concentrate if you get cannot get through it.
Yeah, even I agree with Harika. Patience is key, and consistency too. Day one we say some things, and day two probably will do it, and day three, yeah, boom, nothing goes. That is not something which is going to give you results. Consistency is definitely key and helps you. You don't have to be a, you don't have to be an, you don't have to have good IQ or some, I mean, you don't have to grasp everything in one go, but key consistency is will really help. It actually helped me. I'm still trying. I'm going to try. And like I said, and also one more thing is don't get discouraged if you are getting rejected in one of the interviews or something. Definitely no. And you know just think as in a positive way, like if you're losing this opportunity, something better is awaiting for you. That's it, and just move on. And it's okay to, if someone is like graduated and they don't have job for certain, like, probably it's not everyone, don't have to, like everyone may not be in a position to get into any job. Then you can still wait, take some time, upskill yourself, like Harika said. And upskilling is always and if you are into CS, get some certifications. They also will, showcase good on your resume, and that actually, helps for the recruiters to look into yours. And those are some keys probably that can help you. Yeah, man. Yeah, Harik, I think Vagdevi has something.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to add to this point on facing the recession, one point we need to remember, the whole world is in the same boat. It's not we alone. And the way to come out of it is, again, we should not be alone. So I have seen two batches here, and just I wanted to quote this example. This is applicable to India as well. So although the interview experiences in US are a bit different from India, so there are friends of mine in masters. There is a group which used to study together. They used to do interviews together. But when this recession hit, so it was not there when we were in first year of masters, and in the second year, while we were about to graduate, we had this recession. So they fell apart in the sense, now we know the number of openings in a company, and we know we all are competing for the same role. So either you just know it first, you apply, prepare, and as you are there at the third round of the interview, then go and tell, hey, now I'm into it, you can go and apply. So that is one way, because of which there is a big loss for others. And the other way was, there is this group which creates a channel, and someone gets to know something, they just pass it to everyone. The thing here is, you are never the competition to the other people in the group. There are many people applying to that job, and you five people are just 0.1% of those applicants. And you guys preparing together, you guys sharing the resources together, working together makes you the strength. So it's always hold each other's hands, pass the resources you get to know, and you, at the end of the day, everyone will sail the boat. So although it's very stressful and you start feeling, yeah, peers as your competition, but look back, just come back and see the whole picture. It's you competing with you all the time. There is no one else in the picture. Just try to improve your skills and try to see how others are going through and what you're lacking, and try to build those qualities, but never try to get away from the flock. Stay in groups, pass the resources, get together. This is something I have seen literally that worked through, and just wanted to add to it. Yeah.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, talking to friends about concepts or something, which indirectly helps you to, understand the concepts better. Or if you are preparing for competitive exams, you can, join with other friends, and if you are lacking in something, and if they have it as a strength, they can share it to you and then explain you in a better way. That actually helps. Yeah.
Thank you, Swetha. Thank you, Sriharika, for sharing your experience.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do have Manjunadh also, who would like to add a point.
Yeah, I have a quick question to Sriharika and Swetha. Probably they also can answer. So the thing is, after your BTech, you worked here in India for a few years, and then you moved to US for your graduation. So what kind of challenges you have faced during the transition? Yeah, I agree the earning aspect which Shweta has, right? But apart from that, with respect to the education there, like working work experience help you to see like did it change the perspective of the education for you, like to focus on the key aspects? What kind of challenges you have faced and how did you deal with them?
um shall I, or you want to go, Harika?
You can go ahead. I'll just continue after you do. Yeah.
All right. So see, my thing, like I said, I was already coding by the time, and I was learning, but not in a proper way. and that's the main thing why I chose masters. And you might have I don't know, but choosing subjects in masters, I mean courses in masters, is really a key thing, because I wanted to do in computer science, and in my college there are like four mandatory courses that you have to do to earn a degree of computer science, and the rest you can choose whatever you want, electives generally. So since I wanted to I wanted to learn how things are, I chose whatever I needed, I would say. And the professors, we here there is something called Rate My Professor, where you can just enter the name of the professor in university. You'll get the feedback of him, and probably go there, see how he is teaching. And you can also have a lot of people here who will say, okay, say suppose let's say if you want to take one professor's subject, uh, like one subject can be taught by different professors here, okay. So if you want to go there, ask him, I mean not only him, probably if there might be some other students who are already taking his course, and say, okay professor, he's this kind of guy, you can opt for him, his evaluation is something like this, you can opt for him, because CG also matters. Like I said, I don't know if it must, if it's I think it's 3.5 is the like base here to for any other company to accept us, something like that. So basically you have to build your CG here as well, obviously. So look that aspect as well. And like I said, I am a non-CS background, so the computer subjects I'm taking, computer algorithms. Um, I was I think I took software development course. So all those courses, all these courses I have to do definitely. That's what I kept in my mind, and I came here because that's what actually make you an STE end of the day. And one more thing is. You might face a little difficult to cope up with the other students, because some students might have already come from the computer science backgrounds here. It might be a little difficult, but teamwork always helps. If you don't understand something, go to someone who knows, and they'll help you definitely. Because not always professor is go to person, or not always TA is the go to person. Sometimes friends also helps. I would say every time friends helps, but yeah, let's go here. And if you're of course, doing masters can always remind you home, because if you are at home, you know uh, of course we are in hostels in college, so we don't have to cook and we don't have to do our things of our own. Some or the other person will do, but here you have to do everything, and then you parallel you have to balance college, and if you're working part-time you have to manage that as well. So you don't have time for you don't have time, you have to manage your time, but still. And then sometimes you might feel homesick, like I do feel so homesick. But always we have this virtual things to stay connected with parents. And one more thing is uh, whenever you have some time, try to spend either learning or relaxing. Doesn't mean that you just sit simply watch movie or something. I would say communicate with people, because it can be lonely sometimes. This place is not a home country, and we are not with our parents or relatives or whatever. But it can be, go out with friends, have some fun, come back, study, do the regular jobs, and it will definitely be refreshing.
Thank you, Shweta. And
Yeah.
with that, I think Sriharika and Sriharika can continue with her statements and then followed by Bhakti.
Yeah, so for me, it was definitely a culture shock from USA to India to USA. It was definitely a culture shock, and that too after having 3 years break from academics, getting back to academics was again a different task entirely for me. It had become quite intimidating in my first semester, with the professors as well, because the professors here do not teach you everything like how the professors back in India do. So it is upon you on what you have to do. But then again, after realizing it, I started talking to my professors more. You communicate your challenges, you communicate your drawbacks, then they'll start guiding you. They'll take you through the course. You can literally and professors here are friendly as well, so they know you're facing certain challenges and all. And second thing is, one thing that you do not find in India and you have to do in USA is you have to work simultaneously and do your academics. That can also become a problem when you cannot do that work-life balance over here. It is quite compulsory if you have to do. So, but then ultimately, at the end of the day, you can figure it out after a while what is happening. So, more I would say, communicate. If you have any doubts, communicate it with anyone possible. Talk to them, talk to people, take their opinions, take their concerns. They'll care for you. And curriculum as well. One good thing about USA, I would feel, and that India does not have, is you can choose your curriculum here. You can choose your subjects here. Every subject can be chosen. It is not just given as a curriculum, like back in India, how it happens. So choose what subjects are right for you. And another best thing I did was do not go with the crowd. Do not go with the feedbacks of the students. What they might feel tough might not be tough for you. What they might feel easy might be tough for you. So do not go with your intuition, go with your interest of how you do that subject and how do you do how better you can learn with that subject. So having said that, it was tough for me. I have taken all the toughest subjects, and probably if you ask me, I do not sleep for more than 4 hours a day. It really gets to a position wherein I cannot sleep for 2 hours because of the course load that I have taken. But ultimately, at the end of the semester, if you ask me, yes, I've learned something better than yesterday, and I've learned something better than what I was 1 year back. So that is what ultimately give challenge yourself every day. Challenging myself every day, I would feel happy, though it becomes stressful, irritating at times. I would still say ultimately, I'm coming out with the flying colors at the end of the semester, so it is fine with me.
Thank you,
Thank
Sriharika, for
you.
your take. And
Okay,
so
I
right
would like
now,
to add one more thing here. Sorry about that. Yeah, and if you are coming from a non-CS background, you'll get an opportunity to do projects here. That's actually a very good thing to do. I mean, with the curriculum you will do, and that is actually a very added value to your resume.
thank you, Shweta, for your said. Like, I mean, yeah, projects actually. That's one point which I think is quite crucial because it gives you, practical experience to learn. So now, before going to Vagdevi's, point statements of the question that was asked, because we haven't officially introduced Vagdevi yet to the yet to the audience here. So Vagdevi is a 2019 pass out again, the same batch with Sriharika and Swetha, but as in CSE, and then later continued on to work at Fanatics for around 2 years, followed by masters at ASU, uh, probably NIT Andhra's favorite foreign university, I guess, as many of our seniors are there. and, that is, and now currently is working in Seattle and Amazon as an SD. So, Vagdevi, please continue on with your experience and your lifestyle experience, and then you can continue forward with that by answering the question which everyone is asking about.
Yes, sure. So once I get to the part of me going to masters, I'd answer to this question that we were addressing earlier. So, sounds good. So even before I start my own journey, when you said talk about your experience and seeing my friends here, Harika and Shweta, the experiences I remember with them are good enough to quote. So with Sai Harika, so it was like she's from civil and me from CSC, right? And we were not together in the classes as well in the first year, but we have a very good bond. It's just because we used to be called floor representative and hostel representative, I guess. Yes, it was. I don't know if they still exist. I don't think there's a need of them. I seriously hope there is no need of them. Since it was the first year and there was no literal amenities in the hostels, nothing was going so damn smooth as with any other NITs. We were taking that. It's not literally a position. We used to just represent people, go and talk to coordinator. We have this issue. We have this issue. As the class leader in school, I used to remember that. And but yeah, we had a very good bond because of that. There was a collective people who used to collect, like we used to put our ideas, interact. So that's how we bonded, and that's how I remember Harika and our bond. And yeah, Swetha, even she is not from CSC, right? But we used to stay in the same flat. Those flats are okay. They are a misery in my life. I'll put it
I
straightforward.
know.
It's a huge flat, and they made the kitchen. I used to stay in a kitchen, by the way, a two bunker bed, two people in a kitchen. There were two bedrooms, and one for six and one for four members. It was no near to the NIT current infrastructure. But the good part of it, okay, we all shared the same flat and we had great bonds at the end. That is something we got from that. So this is one of the experiences with my friends here. And then yes, now I'll start with my journey. So okay, when it came to NIT AP, I was one thing people remember about me, she's that girl who used to travel every weekend to Hyderabad. Say yes or no, my dear friends. So I was the only one. Even in my fourth year, I used to travel from Tadepalligudem to Hyderabad. And when I took the decision of coming to masters, I seriously got personal messages saying, "Are you really going to America? Can you stay there?" So that was the immediate question people asked me. I was damn homesick. I used to travel every week and used to feel like choked if I stay there. That's how I used to be. That's my homesickness level I used to have 4 years back. And given that, that was an escaping strategy for me from that room and flat, which I used to not like as well. That is something I used to do. And before coming to NIT AP, I was CS. So CS as a common strategy, either people choose this out of love or when they don't have a choice, or when they feel this is a better option to get a good career path. So these are the three strategies people think of for CS. And for me, when I was in my intermediate, physics was very hard. That when I wrote my mains exam, I think I got one digit score in physics. That's the only thing I lost. And but because of that, I always felt this was definitely a lack of guidance. I didn't know anyone who would have told me this physics in intermediate is not at all related to the physics you are going to study in ECE or triple. So I didn't know that. I just thought, given my fear with physics, okay, let me go ahead with computer science. That's how I chose computer science in my first year. And coming to NIT AP was a forced decision upon me. I was a kid who wanted to stay at home. And my mother, she forced me, no, you need to go to NIT AP. So she pushed me into the institute. I was like, okay, fine. When I came here, I have to study. That was my only agenda, to stay there. Okay, I took up the courses, and first year is something I literally enjoyed at NIT AP. And I still I respect as well as remember the professors of NIT Warangal who used to travel every weekend for us and taught all the subjects. I really respect them. I even remember professors who were 60 years of age and they used to travel every week for us. So that is something. When we talked about so many cons, this is a pro we had. Definitely a pro, I would say. So that's something I used to remember and I used to respect. I still respect. Sorry, not used to. So and then from that first year, I gave my equal strength to all the subjects, and we had this basics, electronics, electrical, and everything. Physics, chemistry were separate. Then I got to know, oh man, this physics is very different from electronics, electrical. That's when I liked electrical. Actually, I was able to score very good marks in electrical and electronic subjects as well. And after first year, I literally had the chance. I was in top two in the institute and had the chance to swap my subjects. I can choose another branch. But then I willingly chose CSC instead of taking ECE. So that's a good thing happened. Although I had a chance, I stayed in CSC. That's because I realized I also like computer science. It's not because I'm scared of something that I'm going to into computer science, but because I like computer science for what it is. That's because I got exposure to data structures and C++ as well. But the way I used to treat subjects was I used to take, oh, okay, CS people usually don't prefer textbooks, but I was that person who studied textbooks for C++ and C, just because to know all the history, how this came into picture, and what made people write these programming libraries. Because once you know the internals of one programming language, it makes it easy for you to get onto any other language, not the syntax and working. When I say internals, you need to know why this libraries came into, why we are using it, what's the uh, running time that of these existing libraries. That is something which takes a lot of your time, even months, if you want to understand the one programming language correctly. But I don't say you need to know every library, but just pick the mostly used libraries and try to understand to this depth, so that it makes it, you will have the confidence, oh, any language, I know it. Now you know the internals. You can map to data structures. When I say the internals, given a library and when you're using it, you should have a mind map saying this should definitely use this map or this set or this data structure at the beneath of it. You should be in a position to able to understand that. So given that, any competitive runtime analysis will be a bit easy for you because you already know the understanding in this. So that is one thing I learned during my first year, a takeaway from there. And then happily choosing CS, liking it. I went to this president to second year, and I have few professors to quote there. There is a Dr. Ramakrishnadu sir, he was from Varangal. He used to teach us the data structures as well. So, and has other assistant professor who worked with him as well. Like from this both professors, I used to learn a lot from data structures as well. Like I thought we had workshops from Dr. Ramesh, a professor from Varangal. He just came for 1-2 workshops, but then we understood how difficult was it for data structures in Varangal. It was made very easy for us. It's like they used to peel the banana and give us. They used to explain everything, whereas in Varangal it was nowhere near to it. They used to be dumped with programming assignments, and that professor was strict enough. I met few alumni in Varangal, and they used to tell us. He just used to tell, "Did you not complete this question? Then get out of my lab." That's it. He was not even allowed to enter the lab. That's how the strict it was. And we were given a bunch of questions he used to give there throughout the semester. And those bunch of questions, I would still feel I did not solve them. But if someone really solves them, they were very equivalent to the gist of lead code, which people keep on talking about. That's the level that professor used to teach there. And if we want to, I think they should be available still. I'm not sure, but that's something you need to get to a point where you feel confident enough to solve anything, and BTech gives you all that time to do that. Once you are in a state of fourth semester, and when you try that, now let me start and do it, now you'll feel the pressure on top of your head. But instead, when these subjects get through in each semester, when they are revealed in each semester, just take your time, get along, play with them, try to learn into the depth. Just catch the depth. It's not the broader. Anyway, you're getting the broader exposure with all the subjects in every semester. Do not fail to get into the depth of a subject. That is something you need to always keep in mind, and that will help you. And yeah, another pros, although we used to have extracurricular activities as well, like Harika stated, although we were first batch, there were many that were initiated. And yeah, it came from students, and we had faculty who supported it as well. Especially our coordinator, the then coordinator, Ramesh, he was from CS faculty itself, and I still remember him supporting. Whenever we take any problem to him, he'll be like, yeah, I do understand, let's immediately span a meeting. It was not completely in his hands, but he was very helpful from the way we could see it. He tried every means to get it to the level he can. So that is something I remember from him. And there were faculties who used to support this, all the labs or the competitions. There was some blind coding competition as well, so fun activities as well used to exist. And yeah, even there's something called Indian Youth Delegation that being the first NITAP that was established in that year, we had opportunity to take part of the Indian Youth Delegation, which is also a good thing. So people tried to bring opportunities to us, although they were not on par with other NITs because it was a very short span of time. But we were there were people who were completely trying to get and bring in a lot of opportunities. So that is one thing, and there was. IIT Madras internship opportunity. There was exam conducted. That's for explicitly for CS, I guess. And but it was open, like exam was conducted to all the students and whoever passed through it. That is one of the initiative that people tried to take. I think it did not succeed as we go along because of the connections or the number of people, and the project ended anyway. The project the IIT Madras wanted was did end, so that is one of the reason it did not carry forward. But there were initiatives that were taken, and there were people who were supporting all these initiatives. So I respect people for that and the experience on that phase. And but given all this, at the end of the day, one thing that always runs in my mind is I studied my intermediate for 6 years rather than two. There was that's what my experience was with my bachelor's. I never had any bachelor's experience. So that funny bunking classes, I used to never do that. And there was no scope as well. Where do you
We
go if you
never
bunk the
had the
classes there?
opportunity.
Yes.
Hostel.
Even if we bunk, now I ask you a question, where do we go? That is
Where
in
do we
farms
go?
somewhere far away from Vijayawada. We have to travel 3 hours for Vijayawada as well. And we
Oh,
need a
you need
stupid,
permissions.
yeah, we need a permission from parents, a letter to travel. Now, where is the motivation for us to bunk the class? No, we just stay there. So that, and there were no seniors who can rag us. That is something I miss. 4 years we were never ranked. Oh my god. That's an experience to have us with. And I remember there were photos where we were not having any opportunity to rag our juniors, and even during our lunch timings, I guess. They used to pull out the gates, and it looks like they were all kept in a jail. They should not enter the mess while we were in the mess. It
Yeah,
was, oh my god.
ridiculous.
Yes, and we need a time slot set up, a meeting, a permission to interact with juniors. What kind of culture is that? So that's something that was crazy enough to remember and takes away the whole bachelor's idea from my mind. I used to miss my bachelor's a lot. With academics, they did we had good faculty for at least 1.5 year from NIT Warangal, but then we had hiccups to find again a good permanent faculty for us. About 1 year we didn't have very good faculty, but it was a whole study from our side. But then later again we had a permanent faculty in our third year, and things improved. It was good. At least by the time we were about to graduate, we had a standard faculty with whom we can interact and say, okay, fine, these are problems, what we can do further. So, and here, when, okay, this all went fine, my 2.5 years. So we were studying and all. But now, when I come to my third year, second semester, this what I'm going to do after fourth year. That is something, a question everyone thinks of. Even I was thinking. And I was not a person who can stay so long from home. So masters at that time was not at all in my mind. I took away that one of the opportunity from my head. And then, okay, MTech versus MBA. Here, where I used to talk to professors, and I was like, what do you suggest? Do you think I can go with MBA? But then my professors were like, your technical strength is always in CS, so why don't you go with MTech? That is one guidance they gave me. So I thought, okay, let me go and study for MTech. But my another motivation was, I stayed away from my home for 4 years. Do you think I can stay another 2 years continuously in some other institute? So I didn't give my fullest while I was studying. I was not at all interested in going away and staying, doing that. So there was a point where I'm not preparing properly for MTech, and I'm not even sitting for this interview rounds. And here, when you ask me, why are you not interested in sitting for interviews? I will quote this. Many people think that programming CS. Now, I am one of those students who used to feel I hate programming and I'm scared of programming. I repeat it, I'm scared of programming. So, do I even have a place in the industry? I was scared to go to interviews. I don't know even if I can perform, do anything there. I was literally scared of programming. I understand everything, but when you tell in this given point of time, solve this, no, the time is never sufficient for me. I used to get under a lot of pressure. I used to feel, will I be able to code this? And recursion was like, I understand what happens under the hood, but when you ask me to code something using recursion, I'll be like, I'll get sweat in my hands. It's just about to faint. I don't faint, but I was almost at that verge of, oh my God, will I be able to at least go through this? That's what my position was. And I used to think, okay, if this is the case, I will never be able to cross the interview bar and I will not be placed at all. So I was pushing myself away from the interviews, thinking that, okay, I'll go to MTech. But I really don't have any motivation to do MTech. But I was pushing away interviews. At this point of time, they used to call us to those workshops where a company used to introduce itself before we even go to that. So I attended kind of, there was one thing at a networking company. Since it was networking and not related to programming, I thought, oh wow, there is an opportunity that I can take. That's why I attended the interview of that. And then it was Accenture that I attended. It was okay, both were okay, but nothing was too good, very interesting to me. But this fear of programming always stick to me, and there was no one to tell and guide me that. No one really told me you don't need to be strong in programming to get into computer science field industry. I didn't know that. I didn't know there exist certain roles which are good enough, pay you good enough as SDE, and do not require as much strength in programming as an SDE requires. I did not know that. And that kept me under a lot of pressure. I knew that only when I attended the interview of Fanatics. So this was a drama that happened. I was as usual in my home in the weekend, and the interview was on Monday. And my I was telling to my mom there is Fanatics which is coming, and which is at that time it was a company which was giving good pay. That is one of the companies giving good pay. So when I got this to my mom, she's like, "You should go and attend." Then I'm like, no, I don't want to attend. She pushed me and I came. Next day morning, I asked my coordinator, like, I did not enroll for the company. Can I please enroll? So I enrolled at the end. And there was someone who were absent to write the exam, and he gave me that paper. That's how I entered into the interview process of Fanatics. And when I went to the interview process, it was one day. All the interview rounds were on the same day. So we went through, and at the end, there were four interviewers who were sitting on a table. They gave us a board. That was the last round. And they ask us questions, and we need to solve things on the board. And then they ask us to optimize that, and we used to do that. Is something I liked, the hand coding. You ask me on this, I'll tell you, because I don't remember syntaxes. I don't remember any syntax. And then there was literally one interview I don't remember, where people asked me, this is a wrong syntax, and I can always Google the syntax, right? He literally looked at me, then why are you here for? Then I was like, I am here to write the logic. Syntax is something textbooks have it or the Google have it. Why should I remember? I just retorted so bluntly. That's the kind of person I was. I don't remember things. And it was very hard for me. And so at this interview, at the end of the interview, then it was director of India at Fanatics. Here's Anil Gurjala. So he asked me a question. So, oh, you are good at this. You are solving everything. So you like programming? Is something he asked, and I was like, it's an immediate answer. I couldn't even think. No, I'm scared of programming. I don't want programming. His answer, what are you here for? It's a software company. I can still hear his laugh. It echoes in my ears. And I was like, oh, you said there is something big data related jobs which are, so I thought that is something I can take up. Then he is like, yes, absolutely. We have jobs for you. No worries, what he told. And I took this Fanatics job. So that was my interview experience with Fanatics. And going to after this, when I joined Fanatics, that experience was literally good. I would remember it forever. Fanatics was a company. I will not say every team in Fanatics is going to give this opportunity or calm going environment. It depends on team to team. I am blessed enough to get into an e-commerce team with a manager who stays in US. So that's a plus point. There is no manager in India. and the whole team takes advantage of that. And jokes apart, that manager was very employee friendly, to be frank. And we had a on-site on-site manager for us, a subordinate to him, but it was a very employee friendly team. And most of, I would say 80% of the teams and fanatics are like this, apart from few which are, they although try to put them employee friendly, but since they are completely platform oriented, they need to support 24 by 7. So that's how it's not possible for them to support this. But rather, other teams who are not completely directly customer ended, they always have an employee friendly environment at Fanatics. So that is something very good about Fanatics. And I had a very good experience. I came to know that there is something called data engineering and I need not bother about programming anymore. Okay, bye bye programming. Now I can happily sit and work on data. I spent so much time learning data, and people usually think data engineering is just SQL, what is there? You just write queries, but that depends on company to company. So data engineering roles, certain roles are very mechanical in the sense you keep writing SQL queries and nothing more to the job. But you need to understand what a data engineer is doing at a company before taking the role. At Fanatics, it was we work very closely with data scientists. We work very closely with SD. So I used to write programs. I used to write repos in Spark Scala. It was not SQL anywhere. So my data, and I used to write this ETL processes and everything. So my exposure was very different compared to other common thing of how people pursue a data engineer. It's not like that. So, and the best thing that happened in this 2 years with data engineering there is I was able to promote to the levels. I liked my data engineering job. I even participated in a hackathon of data science, but then applied to the interviewers saying, no, I like data engineering. Let me stay here for some more time, and then I'll think of data science. So that's how much I liked that role there. And after some time interacting with people, I got exposure to how data scientists work. I got exposure to how SDs work. And this fear of programming and becoming a software engineer, I must say that was all because of my mentor at that point of time in the company. I got rid of the fear because he gave me the opportunity to pick up projects, small projects, APIs that I can write in repos. I worked in Java. It was not part of data engineering, right? But since that's a small startup company and we has flexibility to choose things, I was able to get exposure to this Java working on repos as well, apart from Spark Scale. So that's a good thing that happened. I kind of thought, okay, it's the same analogy of physics and electrical engineering. Programming and software developer is not completely connected. You just need to know the concepts and you not be the competitive programmer to win a gold medal in some ACM ICPC. That's not needed to be a software developer. It's needed only for the 2 hours of interview rounds, and later you need the logical thinking you carried while you were learning this. That logical thinking is very important. That's why companies stress on this interview rounds, which we find insane, but that is very much needed because when you go and write your programs, design a repo, all you need to think beneath is, can I code this in a manner of linked list? Can I code this using some queue? Can I use the queue here? That's the thinking you need to get while you are designing things. So in order to induce that thinking in you, they tell you need to be good at programming. So don't just do programs to crack the interview rounds, but develop the logical thinking so that you, and I even this is a master's experience after master's experience, but I even interviewed with companies here who literally told, you just tell me the logic, the interviewer told, I can write the syntax for you or give you a syntax from Google. You just tell the logic how to solve this. So that's how they emphasize. I literally respected that company for that. That's a good thing we need to have, right? We need to have the logical thinking and try to implement it. We are not someone who needs to remember the syntax. As you work on the same language over time, you will automatically remember the syntax. It's not a hardcore rule for you. So there are companies who understand this. There are companies, interviewers who definitely understand this. And you need to develop that logical skill so that when you answer something, people know, okay, this person is knowledgeable. They have that underhood experience and intelligence. So it doesn't really matter even if they make small mistakes while executing a program. That's how you can get through some rounds. This happened to me. So that's one takeaway I can tell. And phonetics was really good place, and my decision of going to masters is not at all related to technology or career path, so I don't want to stress or more on that. But for me, one of the reasons I can tell is I lost my bachelor's experience. I didn't have the vibe of I used to study, only study is what I used to feel. So I wanted to have an experience of all the extracurricular activities, doing something more than study, and that's the only reason I chose masters. And that's the only reason I chose ASU as well, because that's a university. I would say I can manage not studying well, but still getting a good marks. So I wanted to balance my time. So that's the reason I chose ASU. But people who usually think NIT, AP, can we try for other universities? So something here I want to put. So when you're applying for universities, we think many universities, maybe they don't take us because we see the profiles and see that maybe we are not good enough to get into those universities. But there is nothing like that. Getting into universities and masters is way different than how we apply for universities in India. So if you think you're not eligible for to that university, if you think for 5 universities you're not eligible, at least go and try to apply for 2. There is a probability for you, 60% probability for you to get into one of those universities. So this happens. There is no one-on-one dependency over there. So they take into consideration a lot of extracurricular activities while they are looking into your profiles, and we can end up into getting very good universities. So if you want to study, have a very good exposure, then go there. And the opportunities for people who come to masters, every university, I don't say every professor is good, this university has very good professors, but any university you go, there are few couple of professors who are good enough. So just try to choose, you are trying to specialize in something, some area of any core you choose. Just try to see if that university has at least 2 professors who are good in that. You can do that by seeing the research papers, and there is something called Rate My Professors app where students just put the ratings of professors, read through the reviews. Like certain students don't like professors who don't give marks, certain poor people don't like professors who just rate the papers. So just don't go by the rating but see the reviews. Then you'll get to know, okay, there are few professors here good enough in my field of specialization. Yes, you can just go into the university. Then that university will be a good choice for you to go and study. And while you are studying, even if it's for someone who is transferring, this is because I have seen very close friends who transferred from biotechnology and who have a core of CS. So we all sit together in the same CS class, and now it's like we all have to go through the same interview process, right? So for them, just to balance your life and get through this, always remember, as a student in India, it's okay to get any average CGPA. That's enough for you to raise the bar to get into an interview. Say some companies say 7.5 or 8. Getting that is enough for you. Whereas being an international student, you have this pressure, you have a lot of financial pressure, you invest a lot while coming here, and there are rules like something called 3.25 is at least you need to maintain that as an international student, else you will be debarred. So there is some limit for you, and there is something called 3.5 is needed for you to apply for internships. So having these limits, they set a pressure on you that you need to get a lot, you automatically concentrate on the pointers along with learning. So how to manage this? And people tend to do part times as well to manage this. So answering to the question Manjunath asked about masters, the transition and all. So I worked for 2.5 years. Now I came to masters, and if I want to study, literally, do you think I'll be able to study the same way I studied in bachelor's? It was not possible. Definitely not possible for me. I need to manage a lot of things. There is my there is a hostel who used to cook me food and give me at the time. All I need to do is just get out of my room, go to the mess and eat. Or when I'm at home, there is my mom who cooks food for me. I take carriage. Now what? You have to cook everything. You need to clean your house. You need to maintain a lot of. There's a lot of stuff you need to think of. From paying electricity bills to, it's like you are running a whole home. And then you need to manage your time for this part time, and you need to manage time for studies, and you need to have this GP and financial pressure on your head. When you have all these things mingled up, one strategy that you can always follow is
while I suggested this to even to my cousins who were trying to get to masters. Always try to plan to have living expenses for the first semester. Don't be in such a financial pressure that immediately I need to get into a part time, otherwise it will be on my neck to neck tight that I will not have any finances in the first semester. Don't do that. You're completely new to this environment. It will take for you to sink in at least 2 to 3 months as a minimum period. It takes your time to sink in all these changes. Once you are done to it, you yourself will feel that, Arey yaar, all my friends are going and working and I have a lot of time. Why don't I go and work? That's when you will not feel the pressure of working for money, but feel the pleasure of working, because the working here is very different. I myself worked in a canteen for a week just to get the exposure to see how people be in candidates. Why do they work? Is it just for hard earned money? But there are two categories of students: one who have this financial pressure and they just go and work everywhere they can to earn money, and there are other people who work just because they have time and they need money so they can balance it. You have a balance in your work. Try to find that. Do not put yourself in a financial position to take so much pressure. You will have time. There will be at least 3 to 4 hours a day where you can work. Only allocate that and go and work, and take this from the second semester, not from the first semester. You at the end of the first semester try finding jobs, and then from the second semester go to the part times. Now you will see, even if you work in the canteens, people respect you. The first thing I love about this foreign countries, any foreign country, you just walk there on roads and there'll be some foreigners who just ask, are you a student? I say, yes. What you are studying? Technology. Then they'll be, wow, technology, engineering. Oh my god, it's the toughest thing to do. How are you doing coming overseas? Do you ever get this reaction in India? No. So it's the best thing to do. You need to come to masters for that reaction. People will respect you. And pedestrians are given the highest form of respect here. So you don't have any vehicles, then you are in a very good position. You are like a king and queen of the county. Whatever you do, chalega. It's good. So that respectable and different community experience is something you can learn here. So for me, masters, it's not for technical shift, it's for the life experiences I want to learn. So I see masters in a very different point of view. I learned a lot of life experience, lot of mindsets of people, lot of exposure to the world. That's how I see masters for me. So because coming from CS technology, literally, if you are good at bachelor's and have an experience of 2 years, there is nothing you are going to learn in the masters if you want to go to the same field of study and going to take the same job. If I do my SDE role now, so I learned enough in my phonetics itself. There is nothing I learned new for an SDE role in the masters. But if I wanted to go to a data scientist position, that's where this masters comes into picture, because I didn't have any data science experience. I didn't have any exposure. So then doing some projects, doing some things would have helped me. But just don't see masters as a pressure point or financial point of view and a shift only for career. But no, master has a lot to offer you. It gives you a different point of view on your own life. You don't no more think we have to run with people. No, after 2 years I would say you will never think that. You will see here people sitting with me. I have an person sitting in my class. He is 45 years. He did psychology, and now he is studying computer science just because he likes it. You will come to know the timelines in life set by Indian culture are not doesn't really apply. It's a mindset that we were nurtured from our childhood, but there is nothing such as timeline for anything. But it's difficult for you to digest that if you stay in the same peer people who go with the same mindset. You can't stand out all the time, right? Your mind will see the people around you and it will get affected. But here, people around you are itself different. So it's all upon you to change the mindset. Now it's the ball is in your court and it's your job to change your mindset. So that's how it works here. You will see a different life view if you come to foreign countries. I would say don't. It's not needed to settle here, something like that. But that exposure of 2 years is definitely needed in someone's life. it will be like exponential growth in your life. 5 years of normal age and 2 years of masters will be equivalent. The way you learn to manage yourself, the way you learn to nurture your mindset, you will be a very different person. So that is something I'll take away from masters. And even in managing the subjects, okay, you say how to get this 3-4 hours happily from the subjects. Always choose one hard subject. So the relativity is up to you. For you, one subject will be easy, one subject will be hard. How to know that? Just see the portion, just see the professor's ratings, then you will get to know, okay, seeing this professor teaches this much and this portion is something I don't know. So you, if the professor is not teaching anything you don't know yet, it will be the hardest thing for you, right? So that's how you need to relate it. Okay, now I know this is the hardest thing for me. So take one hard subject, one average subject, and one easy
One
subject.
easy subject.
Always do this. Then you will have time for everything else in your life. Just do this happily and go to your city which has very good public transport system so that you can roam around as well. So that is also very much needed. You don't want to sit there at home thinking 2 years of your life, oh my god, I have so much financial burden, what will I do? Because after 2 years, now you are into job, I hardly find any time. I don't have financial burden as I used to have earlier, but I don't have time. Now I can't go anywhere. I need to ask this Amazon, especially. I need to ask my manager for 1 day leave as well. And the leave policy is too bad. You don't have any good leaves for about 1 year. So that's a different thing. So this masters just is it's all about perspective. You will enjoy masters if you do that. Change your perspective, see what you can get out of it, and you like it. Yes, Shweta, you can add to it.
I miss Indian holidays here. Yeah, that is something I have to say. Yeah, every festival you come, you face, like recently Dasra, and the before that Ganesh Chaturthi. You know, I miss because I have to work the same day, and I have to do all the rituals in the morning if I have to. If I have to do the rituals in the morning and then start working straight. If I was in India, then I would have taken a leave, or they would have given me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That is definitely true. We miss festivals here. But it's always good. Like when we have our communities, there are good communities enough. Like we do the festival at our home. It feels like friends become home. That's how you develop. How that's a way to run away from loneliness. Yeah, it's a secret. But yeah, we have friends who are family now. But that's how we live here. That's good. You will get acquainted over time, and people don't take the review from people who are studying from masters. The same person who gave you a review during masters and the same person ask him after 2 years after masters, the review will be very different. These people will be in a lot of difficulties. We will be in a lot of difficulties. Even me now, it's just been 4 months that I graduate. I'm still thinking through it. I'm still able to digest, but only after 2 years, when I get rid of this education loan pressure, when I get rid of that loneliness pressure by having a complete family group. Because once you get into job, you will not have the group you used to have in masters. Everything changes. Again, you will start everything afresh. So you will again have a mindset: Why am I staying so far away? Is it really needed? So all this comes out of as a review while you take comments from them. And but after 4 years after coming to abroad, people will have a different mindset usually. I have seen through it because there is a case. There's a friend of mine. It's from NIT Varangal again. There were two people. There was a LinkedIn post where this guy, he was in his master's second year. He was completely drunk and was feeling very bad that why he is away from his home. He wrote a big post in his LinkedIn profile saying, "This is the worst ever decision I have made." It's a conclusion, but he quoted so many things. You are away from family. You don't get anything. You need to work hard even to have a food, and you will have burnt food while you get home because your friends don't cook well, or you need to cook for yourself every day. You will not even have food whenever you want, and you can't even go and buy a pizza with which costs $5 and you don't have it in the pocket. You need to work hard for 4 hours has to get those $5. So all these correlations, he wrote a lot of things on that post. And there is a junior friend of his who read this post and cancelled his plans of coming to masters. He changed his mind. No, I don't want to go to masters to face all these difficulties. And after 1.5 years, the same person reposted saying, sorry for my earlier post, but you build a whole family here, you will have a happy life now, you have money in your pocket. I was too damn surprised to read those posts. So your perspectives change. The same thing with the BTech, right? As you study, it is different. But when you end up getting a new job, good earning job, you are different now. So everything is a struggle for a couple of years, but you will have a lot to take from it, and rest it will be good. And even with the recession with here, I see people in US, there are many people in CS as well who did not end up in a full-time job, but that doesn't mean they are feeling bad about it, because we have a very bad opinion about consultancy jobs. We think they change our resumes, or we need to project ourselves as a different person with 5 years, 7 years of false experience, or do something, work behind the bars to get a job. That's what we know about consultancies, or we think that they have less privileges or a flexibility compared to this, but it's not the case. It's really not the case. There are consultancies, even Accenture is a consultancy, TCS is a consultancy. They are just branded consultancies, and you have consultancies here which have no brand. That's it. So you need to choose your consultancy, and there are consultancies who just put your resume as is and get you a job. There are consultancies. It's not that they are very bad. The only thing you will lose is you don't have a unpaid leave with consultancy, and you will have a very bad insurance policy which you have to stick through for some years. But it's not at all a bad thing to work with a consultancy, and I see people who earn more than people who are in FANG. So we know FANG for high earning thing, but these consultancy people, they earn more per an hour than us. So it's not at all a bad thing when you are into, not only even recession people. There are people who choose consultancies because you can actually get good visa proposals as well. So there are opportunities and there are misconceptions as well. We need to get away from them, and we need to try hard. And if you are into research, masters is a very good place. I'm not saying bachelor's is not a very bad place, but I see, even I worked with Nagesh Bhattu sir in my bachelor's, and he's someone who is very much into research. He like people who research a lot. I was not into so much into research, but that's different. But there are professors everywhere. There are professors with whom you can tie with if they align with your interests. So that is something I need to say. And I see a lot of sleepy faces. Is it too long? Sorry, guys.
No. It was actually, it's the right thing, because there was a lot of experiences. Like I said for Swetha as well, right? 4 years, it's a huge stretch, and it's a huge learning curve. It's almost like the same time as a BTech, right? That you have spent in companies, and it's a great experience. And thank you for actually coming on the session, especially where your points about programming and how to deal with that. It's really it's something which you generally don't hear. You hear from people who have 20-30 years of experience, but I think you somehow gain that kind of knowledge and experience in a short amount of time. So also one more thing I quite did not notice is that we just have 20 minutes left for the session today, and we have three more speakers to continue on. So here's the thing, we'll just do one thing. We'll just change a little bit of a pace here. Since you have Vagdevi, you have done in Amazon, and you're currently working in Amazon in the US. We also have an Amazon SD employee in India right now. So that's Ramya Shri, who is 23 pass out. So, and along with this, we also have Charan, who actually got in Carrier. Carrier is actually one of the first companies that generally comes into hiring. So we have Charan, and then we also have Manjunadh, who has been who's a 2020 pass out and is currently working in Cadence. So these three are the remaining speakers whose sessions is continuing. So really, really sorry. We'll just try to adjust the time here and there. I hope you really understand. So here's the thing. Instead of asking about your whole life experiences, let's bring it to the point where we just discuss about the challenges that you have faced during hiring, right? The hiring process and the challenges, because these three are something that hiring is something which all three of you have in common. Similarly how the other three had, getting into companies and then into masters. just getting into companies is something which is the phase that you three are. So we'll start with Ramya. So Ramya, Amazon in India, Amazon in US is somewhat heard, is somewhat less competitive in comparison to Amazon in India, and you still manage to grab a job in India at Amazon. So what challenges did you face while you were getting in for this?
Yes. For all who doesn't know me, I'm Ramya. I have recently graduated in NIT Andhra, May 2023. And then I have been working with Amazon since 3 months, since July 2023. So here at Amazon, to tell about my team, I work for Prime Video. So majorly, I deal with the part of subscriptions and the core subs, which we rent for the customers. So mostly that side of the features I work upon. So these all are related to my work, but I know all of you are interested in how the hiring was, what was the hiring process, and what was the obstacles, like what was the issues I have faced. So right, I'll be pointing them one by one. I was very clear that I wanted to land a job, not to go for higher studies just after the graduation. So I started looking at the opportunities. uh, I say one point that opportunities don't come to you. You have to go for it, search for it at different various portals, or just say there are many off-campus drives of many other companies going ahead. So you just have to make sure that you are knowing the timelines of those drives and then attend those, so that make use of them. Not only just rely on the college, because there are many people and there is a lot of competition. So this is what I have done. I have made sure some off-campus drives timelines and made sure I applied at the right time. And there were companies, in our college we don't have the internship opportunities giving in our third year, right? So I see many of the other college students getting those. So only one way to get the internship opportunities is apply through off-campus in our third year, right? So what I have done was I applied through some of the companies. I can name them: Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and Navi. There were some portals like Day to Complete. Like I think most of people you have been known about this. It's Unstop, where the competitions are being held. So I made use of all these portals and then applied to every other company. But here is one more take that you can take is you have to read the job description properly, so that you don't waste time investing in the jobs which you apply, right? So that is really important to read the job description before you start applying yourself. And then after job description, and one more point I have already seniors have mentioned, Swetha and Sriharika, about the resume ATS algorithm. So you have to make sure that you need to pass it. So here I can give two tips. You can highlight the text wherever you can give the priority. You can bold some of the text or some of your experiences or your projects, and the person or the employer or the recruiter who is interviewing you will go through the resume from top to bottom, right? So prioritize things which you wanted to read them firstly at the top, and then prioritize things at the bottom which are needed but necessary for the resume at the bottom, right? So these were the things I took care of, and I am fortunate that I have got a few seniors which helped me in reviewing my resume and giving some tips, changing few things about my resume. So I got help from them. And I think mostly these are the things you need to remember while applying. And coming to the hiring process of Amazon, uh, it took months. It took months actually for the examinations, one round, the second round, and then the interviews. So I applied in April 2022, and then I have got the exam link at July 2022. So there was a first round which consists of multiple choice questions for CS subjects. I stress here that all the people who are going to the semester subjects, please don't neglect the CS subjects like OS, DBMS, and CN, because you need not give some other time to study them. Because if you can finish them in the semester subjects, you can give time for problem solving, doing lead code problems or GFG or any other code forces. So right, this is one more point. And then in the first round of the assessment, there was one coding question and the multiple choice questions of CS subjects. So the time management here is really important. And there were lot of MCAs, like MCQs. So you need to give, there will be a bar for every section, so that you need to pass this much amount of questions, so that only you will be getting into the other round. So every section of the assessment is also important here. And I have qualified this round, and then got the second round link around I think August 2022. And the second round consists of two DSA questions, and there were medium to hard level lead code questions. And then there were the behavioral questions related to, so almost the examination time was 2 to 3 hours. So the most time was for the behavioral questions, only 1 hour time for the DSA questions to solve. So this was the online test. And then after this, I have got the interview mail in the October. And then that was during the time of Dasara. I thought I was enjoying Dasara. I got the mail of interview. Then the next day I have to sit and prepare for the interview. And then I have gave interview in our college itself in the TNP cell. So there was 1 hour of interview where you give the 5 minutes intro, and then they'll be giving the editor to you, and they'll be asking two or one DSE question. If one, it's an hard lead code or hard type of lead code question. If the two, there will be like the medium questions. And so this was a pattern. You need to first give the logic and then implement it, and it will give an edge if you discuss about the time complexities and the space complexities. So you just have to make decisions, like you have to be conscious of the decisions you make in the interview, of the logic, or you have to debug the code yourself, like any edge cases. Or don't just directly code when you are asked a question. Ask questions about any edge cases you wanted. Ask questions about any constraints of the question which is being asked to you. So this helped me a lot, because you get the clear understanding of the question, and then you start solving the problem. And that will be an easy path to go. And then after you do the two lead code questions, like a type of lead code questions, and then you can ask few questions for the interviewer, like general questions, general talk will be there, like HR questions. So this was completely pattern. And then after 1 week, I have got the mail that I have been selected for the full-time opportunity. And here I would like to point one thing, that this is not the first company I have applied. I have been applying since my third year for the internships. I've been for the interview rounds for Morgan Stanley. There I lacked a few CS subjects, like CN. I couldn't answer some questions of CN. So for the rejections, I would say, or don't, first of all, accept the rejections. Second of all, don't settle, and please go forward. And third point is, you have been rejected because there must be some improvements you need to be done. So right, so I made sure that I do not repeat the mistakes which I made earlier. So this was one take of rejections. So I know people apply for 30-40 companies and get rejections, they settle. So just don't do this, because everybody are facing this. It's okay to get rejections. There will be some company which will be waiting for your turn. So these are all points I would mention which are important to think. Yeah.
Thank you, Ramya. Like, the point about, especially the aptitude and the behavioral questions also
Yeah.
play a huge role.
Yes.
And my experience is that I've actually applied for Amazon internship when I was in second year, after my second year. Two things. One, I did not know it was for 2023 pass out.
Yeah.
So I applied for that, and I think I got rejected straightforward there itself. I got disheartened and I did not apply next time. So I think I should have done that at least after my third year. And I do
Yes.
regret it. Maybe I'll try for something if it's suitable. But thank you, Ramya. I think your tips, I'm definitely going to use these for my application now. And
Yeah. And
fingers
I
crossed.
also like to point one more thing, that in my third, I got to know about the companies which hire in my third year of college. But there are few companies which give opportunities for you in your second year, which I have missed. I regret that still. There was Google Step Intern, there was Microsoft Engage. So I suggest students in the second year itself, just even just apply for the companies, even though you get the experience of attempting the assessments, and later, if not now, you could get into them in the third year or fourth year, right? So find some time, sit some time after your college, at least 15 minutes a day, finding opportunities. So just doing the hard work is not enough. You have to find the opportunities yourself. So this is one more point I like to add. Yeah.
Thank you, Ramya. I mean, one thing is, where were you when I was in my second and third year? I mean, if you were in you, is this 1 year gap that we have? If you had a proper interaction in college itself, I think a
Yeah,
lot of tips here would have been shared there.
yeah, I think most of the second year students would know me. I have helped as a teaching assistant for them in DSA labs, and I was active part of few clubs. So few, I have interacted few of juniors. Maybe I have missed with you. Yeah.
Thank you, Ramya. We'll definitely look into Amazon's procedures in hiring. And also, there was one more company which came very recently for. I mean, it was the first company that came for us in NIT AP. That was Carrier. And unfortunately, half of the drive was when we were at home, and the other half was here, and a lot of stuff happened where not many people got in. But we have one senior who has an expertise in getting into the companies as such in the very first shot. That is Sai Charan. Sai Charan is 2022 pass out, and he got into Carrier. And hi, Sai Charan.
Hey, hi.
So if you can just, it's the same question that I was doing for Ramya. What was your experience? What challenges did you face, and how did you proceed forward?
Yeah. So it was like uh, August of 2021 when we have Carrier came into on campus. Like we were shocked because it's the first company. Like we don't know what it is going to held in the interviews and all, because it's the first time Carrier came to on campus, and we don't know what to do. So because as Carrier is offering this role in 2022 itself, so we don't have prior knowledge of getting experienced fellows in Carrier. So like I have gone through LinkedIn, and I've asked multiple persons, but they have minimum knowledge of what will be the interviews will be like, because there are very different mechanism of hiring for this role. So I didn't get much help from LinkedIn, but I get help from few of my seniors. Like I asked them what will be the interview procedure for product-based companies. So it will be same as for Carrier also. So first round, it was a exam. It was different for CSC people and EC and Triple E people. So as I'm from EC background, I got basic electronics and communication questions. So we'll be easily able to crack that. Second was we have three interviews. So first was with technology managers. Second was with director of engineering of Carrier, and third was with the lead of talent acquisition of Carrier India. So I would say that this interview process is very hard, because they will actually play with your mind rather than your technical skills. So before preparing for interviews from third year onwards, so I've been into lead code and practicing so much questions, like 350 plus questions in lead code and also in coach F. So none of them helped me in technical interviews with Carrier, because they didn't ask any coding questions. They only focused on what you have kept in your resume. So one suggestion I can give you is that focus on your resume. Keep only legitimate things on resume. Don't put whatever you feel is good. Have a knowledge of what you keep in your resume. So that's the main skill if you want to crack Carrier. And so many questions they ask me is from my resume itself. So I have like 4 months experience with a company I have done internship with. So they have asked what you have done, and can you explain the cycle of procedure what you have established and all, and also about my fourth year project, and also the side projects what I have done earlier. So this have helped me to crack the technical interview. So the second interview with was with the director of engineering of Carrier India. So they were like they will only focus on your behavior. So they will ask so many questions to test your behavior, like how you will be answering or how you'll be going forward if you have this situation in front of you. So these kind of questions they will ask you. My takeaway from or my suggestion in that interview is that be humble. So don't what to say, don't exaggerate and say unnecessary things. Be humble and so I have completed that interview. And when I have received a mail that I have been selected for third interview, it was with the talent acquisition lead or HR. So many people think that if we have get into HR round, you'll be selected, but that's the not point with career, because like 10 people got selected for HR round, but only 4 people got shortlisted for the role. So be careful in the HR round because it actually very hard to crack. I'm not making it difficult, but it's very hard to crack because the questions they ask and they'll make you not answer things. So uh, be careful in HR round. So that's my suggestion for it. Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Charan.
coming to my role exactly now, actually people have uh, many people have asked me what will be the role, because the job description and all is very confused. It will not be as same as what other companies offer. So I'll just explain in 2 minutes. So what's the job I'm doing and all. So there will be like 3 business units in Carrier, and you'll be given opportunity to serve to a project for 8 months in every BU. And after 3 rotations, that is 18 to 324 months, you will be allocated to a BU, and you'll be doing the full time in that project. So that's about the role. So why they have started recruiting for this role? Because they really want to have a uh, people who has knowledge about all BUs, so that they can be they'll be growing in the leadership role and also in the technical roles to work in cross platform teams and all. So that's the main thing why they recruited us and for this role.
So thank you, Charan. Generally, how is the work-life balance? Like, if you're trying to get into companies similar to Career, so the one thing that there are few things that I understood till now. First thing is that HR rounds are quite important. We need to take that
Yes, yes,
seriously. Behavioral analysis is the second one. I mean, Ramya also has mentioned about coding, how we need to make sure even that we have that intact. But if companies are not coming in campus, let us say there are not many companies that go for all campuses. How can we somehow find them, and what platforms can we find them in, and how can we proceed with applying for that?
yeah. So coming to Carrier, like last year they haven't recruited for this role in off campus, but this time they have started recruiting for this role. Like few people have approached me saying that the Carrier like posted the job in Naukri also. So you can find there if you have any chance or interest in getting into Carrier in Naukri. Uh, so coming to other companies, I don't have any experience applying for companies off campus, but you can try with LinkedIn and also on Naukri. So that's my suggestion.
Thank you, Charan, for your insights. Now that we have seen two different, two people's experience of getting into companies with CS background, we also have another senior, Manjunadh, who is a 2020 EC pass out and is currently working in the electronics sector of jobs, and has worked at Analog Devices and is currently working at Cadence as a design engineer. Hi, Manjunadh.
Hi, Ritu. So
So the question is the same that is the same for what I've asked for Ramya and Charan as well. Like, what was your experience of getting into company? First would be with analog devices, and then proceeding forward to cadence, and even during this time of recession, how is the industry right now? How is it for you?
okay, yeah. Before answering the question, I'd like to just few of my seniors are here, so I'd like to thank them personally because it was all their effort what the NIT the culture is today right now. So they were they laid the foundation to everything, and that's been continued till now. So few of them are here and many of them are not here, but it's when we think about NIT, yeah, it was all from the students' perspective, the seniors, the first batch, they laid the foundation, they brought the culture to the organization, and yes, as long as the NIT stands, their impact to the organization will be there on the golden notes. And yeah, coming to your point, so actually, in fact, we were the COVID affected by the COVID batch 2020. So there were many revokes happened. Many people received offers, but many of them were revoked. And yeah, it was a tough situation as we are seeing right now, currently due to the macroeconomic conditions going on in and around the world. It's more or less the same kind of thing, but I'd like to focus on few things, particularly for the EC students who are attending this meeting. I'd like to focus from their perspective. So I'll not take much time. I'll try to summarize in 5 to 6 minutes so that, yeah, first thing is there was this myth that ECE graduates may not enter into this VLSI and embedded system based companies with a bachelor's degree. It's a myth. It is possible. There are companies in Bangalore and Hyderabad which are hiring graduates, ECE undergraduates from ECE, and I got this opportunity, interview opportunity in Qualcomm, Cadence, and Analog Devices, three companies which are leading organizations in the VLSI industry. So I would like I would like to say one thing like focus on building rapport with the faculty. That is a must because I got these three interview opportunities and three of them were from the professors, NIT professors. They helped me in getting they referred me to various of their connections and that helped me to get my resume picked. So maintain good rapport with the professors. Yeah, it helps us in some way or the other. They'll help us, as Sriharika said that mentors are necessary in every walk of the life, and I feel that the professors in NIT AP were really helpful during the initial phases of my career. I got many doubts and I received so much guidance and suggestions from them. So it's good to maintain good rapport with them. And the second thing is being an EC student, just focus on the basics. That's it. Nothing much is required. Just focus on the basics. Your be it VLSI, CMOS VLSI basics or digital electronics or signal processing basics. Focus on them. Companies are not going to ask beyond that because they know what is the current curriculum that's being taught to the students and they know what students are capable of. So they won't go beyond that limit. So focus on the basics. And the next thing, like now the recession is ongoing and there are many, even cadence, there is a hiring freeze ongoing right now. So one thing I can suggest is do build your resume. Let's do something like there will be some 6 to 7 months gap on your resume, but that is totally fine for the companies. Companies know that the gap is due to the macroeconomic situations and they'll consider it. So try to do something, do some many projects. Like if you want to join in some organization, go through their this job description, do some projects related to that domain and add it to your resume. It really helps. And yeah, currently I'm working as this uh, radar signal processing design engineer in Cadence. So we develop this autonomous driving and advanced driver assistance systems related intellectual property. So that requires hardly one programming language, be it C or Python. So as Vagdevi said, it's really necessary. It's not like let's not bother about the syntax, but only the logic. Even the interviewers or the organization, what they look is they look just for the logic, and so start building logics, start analyzing problems, be it any language, Verilog, C, system Verilog of C++, Python. Just focus on the logic, and it definitely takes us to places. And yeah, I think there are opportunities for EC students everywhere, and the situation currently we are seeing, it will not be permanent. It will go away in 6 to 7 months. So all we need to do is be patient, build our resume, get some decent CGPA, along with having fun in the college, and maintain good rapport with your professors. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you, Manjunadh. I mean, it really highlights what this entire session is about. I mean, Manjunadh really pointed out about the enjoying the moment. That is exactly what the movie The Pursuit of Happiness was also about. The theme which this entire session was conducted on. It's not about finding the dream job. It's not about finding, a single company or getting into a single university. It's about the entire process. So, yeah. So thank you everyone for joining us. We'll be conducting these sessions every week. We had a little bit of a break due to our midterm exams, and now onwards we'll again be back on stretch. And you can obviously reach out to any of our alumni through AlmaConnect as well. And if you're an alumni watching this, do reach out to us on LinkedIn, and we'll definitely make sure that all of us are connected back together. Because together we grow, forever we shine. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you soon.